Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Dina Madrid here with KDNA. Thank you for joining us. Sorry for being a little late, but we have to be exempt from that when it's technology, right? Anyways, thank you for being here. This afternoon, we have Reyes Montoya and Rafael Gutierrez from New Mexico, and I'm going to bring them on right now. Hi, guys.
Hello.
How you doing?
What's up, Tina?
Hi. Happy, what day is it? Tuesday.
It's Taco Tuesday.
Happy Taco Tuesday. Wait, chicks, you owe me a Coke.
One is on the road and the other one's sitting at home, chillaxing.
Yeah, we're here in the
Always on the go.
Anyway, first of all, I want to give you guys la bienvenida. We're not very far from each other here in New Mexico, so it's good to be very close, close at heart, ¿verdad? Even though we're a little distance away, we're about, 5 hours away from northern New Mexico?
You're about 5.5 hours, yep.
And about 2 hours from, I believe we're about 2 hours away from Rafael.
I'm in Safford right now, so yeah, about 2 hours.
Safford, Arizona? Okay.
Yeah, about 2 hours.
Anyways, if you guys can check to see if we're really on, my channel says that we're on, and I'm going to trust that. I'm going to take that into consideration. So if you guys can please check and see. Yeah, we are on. Okay, so anyways, let's get the party started here.
Anyway,
don't forget to share, guys. Good afternoon. Dina Madrid here with KDNA. And here I have with us, first of all, Rafael Antonio is right next to me. And then I have Reyes Montoya on to the right. So bienvenidos to both of you. I am ecstatic to be here with you guys. Me da mucho gusto que me acompañen esta tarde. Tenemos mucho que hablar. Ya hemos perdido 20 minutos, pero lo hacemos más rápido porque yo sé que tienen citas. But anyways, everyone who's on, please go ahead and share with the friends and make sure that you guys can get in. And here we're going to talk to Rafael primero, since we have Rafael here. Rafael is going to tell us a little bit about his partnership with Reyes Montoya. So I'll let you have the hot seat on that, Rafael.
Well, I guess we'll credits due. I met up with Reyes back in 2019. We actually did Amigo Mío before we became the label, and it was a pretty successful little song for the first time. Me going on the radio and all that. And like I said, Reyes comes from a very talented family. Like I said, his mom and his dad and his sister, just phenomenal artist. I went to go see him, I think, for his CD release back in 2019. I think it was in March, and I got to meet his whole family and all that. And he just being around me, I realized he came from good people. And I met him actually through a shout out to Tony Lopez, Duke City Pics. We dubbed him the photographer of New Mexico music. He's the one that actually told me about Reyes and got me connected with Reyes, and we just, like I said, I went to go to the CD release, and the rest is history. We got Tula Rosa Records started in 2020, and it's kind of a record label that we have a fusion of a lot of different styles of music. Especially, I got to kind of experience the musicians in Tucson, the mariachi atmosphere, the Tejano, New Mexico, and brings in that northern New Mexico sound that we all love out of New Mexico, and on from Reyes, and that's where it all started.
And Rafa too.
¿Qué dice?
Well.
No, Rafa had a hand in it too.
Okay, so you guys are so far apart, but yet you guys meet every once in a while to put stuff together. How do you get this going? It's just like any other artist, ¿verdad? Pero our state is we are so vast in land, and so we're so far away from each other. You're about 7 hours away from northern New Mexico, Rafael?
When I'm in Tucson, yeah, it's about a 6. Well, it takes me 6 hours. Don't tell the cops that. But well, no, actually, me and Reyes at least try to meet up a few times a year. I'm actually trying to go back to school as soon as I find a way.
Uh-huh.
But through technology now, technology is really brought just us. It's kind of has brought artists together that would normally not be together. There's artists on our recordings that we've never met. We got an
Mm-hmm.
accordion player out of Corpus Christi, Texas, Gonzalez. We got musicians in Tucson, and it's just we with the way you set up your have everything tied together. So like I said, we have drop boxes. I can record a track, he'll record a track, or a lot of the times, usually the way we try to do it, I do all the tracking. If I do all the tracking here, Reyes is the pretty much the mastermind behind the mixing and the mastering and all the cool stuff in between, and he makes me sound a little bit more enjoyable. So
I have a question
it's
before
just
you
all
go on with instruments, okay? Because I know that this goes further down, even further than music. It goes deeper than music. Going back to your roots, going back to the instruments, because I think we shared the fact that Tejano has more of the jazzy, goes into the jazz more because of the instruments, and New Mexico is more progression, right? Am I correct? Or more progressive, I guess you could say, or can you explain that a
I
little bit
guess
more?
go ahead and answer that, Ray.
Instruments?
if I could take this one over, I'll explain it pretty well. So, New Mexico music is basically grassroots. We play acoustic style music on electric instruments. We play the basics: two guitars, a bass, drums, sometimes accordion, sometimes horns. But our basic food groups are guitar, bass, and drums. We
Okay.
play normally our traditional songs are like conjunto songs where they're 1, 4, and 5 in the scale. Sometimes they add a little bit more to it, but it's not very different every time. It's very German based, very Spaniard based, very Czech based. I met a guy from Texas who explained a lot about the Czech polkas, and they use electric guitar, they use bass, they use the drums. It sounds very close. And,
Can you pull can you pull over, Reyes? 'Cause you're breaking- Reyes,
similar.
can you pull over because you're breaking out? Or can you give me a better?
Yeah. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Hold on. Can you hear me? Is that better?
That's much better, yes.
There you
Okay.
We don't want to miss out on we don't want to miss out on what you're telling us. It's very important to us to know the difference between the Tejano and the New Mexico music, porque sí hay diferencia, ¿verdad? But it can sound the same. It's really all the same, I think.
We're all the
I
same
just
bird,
wanted
different
a little
feathers.
a little bit about how it changes. Why is it different? And how did you learn the difference?
So I grew up in the New Mexico music scene. My dad and my mom have been pioneers in the music in northern New Mexico for over 40 years. Um, my dad is an iconic guitar player here in northern New Mexico. He is La Llorona Loca from 45, and he was a co-founder of 45. And so with that, I was around that all my life, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And all the musicians of northern New Mexico know of me, or they know me, you know what I mean?
Right, because of your
And I
father.
grew up as one of the
Uh-huh.
hitos of New Mexico music is how I coined myself, I guess, because I don't really try to run my name off of my dad's name. I just know that my dad did something very influential, and a lot of people tried to play
Mm-hmm.
just like him because they're inspiration as well. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He's their inspiration as well. And so I'm very flattered when people tell me like, "Oh, you're Reyes Montoya, John Montoya's son, and I go, yes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
But my mom and my dad have had the biggest impact on me and a lot of other people
Mhm.
in this music. And so my dad, the way that he approaches guitar, he mentioned it to you last time we were on the phone together, was that he liked to copy our style from Al Hurricane's horn players
Mhm.
on guitar. That's a very unique way of saying it. You know what I mean? That he plays his adornos based off of what a horn player would play
Now,
in,
can you explain
Tejano music,
Can
basically.
you explain to everybody who El Hurricane is and how he compares to Little Joe in Texas, and how he is his difference, the almost the comparison between him and Little Joe? Vamos a decir.
Oh, okay. You gonna take that one, Rama?
Yeah, I guess. So basically, El Hurricane is the godfather of the New Mexico genre. Little Joe's the godfather of Tejano. And in the early stages, when it was the Latin years, it was real similar because essentially the same songs were recorded by both, and actually both Texas and New Mexico. A lot of the classics they both recorded them at the same time, or maybe one before the other.
Mhm.
Where you start to hear a lot of the differences is with Tejano music. It's a little bit slower beat, and then you have jazz progressions on the rhythm section, kind of like a
Mhm.
big band jazz. Whereas New Mexico music has the rhythm section is mostly rock and roll riffs, the rock and roll progressions.
Yes.
Still the same songs, still the same mariachi background, because it all has those mariachi songs, those the revolutionary songs and all that. But
Mhm.
it's pretty much really the rhythm section is what really defines the two differences. The rhythm section and the tempos are a little bit different, but
Right.
that's really where the main difference is at. The way you sing them, though, like I said, the melodies are still the same. The heart of New Mexico music is really the guitarra, and the infancy.
It started off as the violin, but yeah, it's the guitar now.
In the infancy, like of Tejano, when it was conjunto, when it first started, like conjunto Bernal and all that, the accordion was the
Accordion.
primary.
Mhm.
And now, like I said, with all the fusions, going on, you'll see accordion in New Mexico music. You really don't see a lot of lead guitar, a lot of lead guitar riffs. And Tejano, you do a little bit, but you're gonna see it mostly on the New Mexico side.
Mhm. I have a question for you, Reyes. Going back to your father being he's a legend. He was part of the 45. He was the founder of 45. So if any of you guys know who 45 is in New Mexico, it is a very, very prominent band. It's probably one of the most popular bands in New Mexico, and they are very, very much, well, they just performed here at Western New Mexico University a couple of years ago. And of course, you ask a New Mexican, do you know the band 45? And it's not the one from Texas, where
Hey,
Mr.
we know John Ontiveros and we know John Ontiveros and Mr. Torres, and we're working closely with them at this very point, at this very moment. So you never know, there might be a collab eventually.
That would be awesome.
In the
Because
works.
like you were Este Rafael Antonio was mentioning that you mentioned the Latin years. You didn't say Little Joe, but it was Little Joe.
Yeah, the Latin years is his brothers too, no?
That's when the brothers.
So it's like all of them.
I don't know the exact history. I know that there was the Latin years, and I don't know if it was when Ham Guerrero split off and started Tortilla Factory. I think they became La Familia. Maybe I could be wrong on that. I don't know the exact time limit, the time frame. But I know
all
that
those things, all those names pretty much sound the same as far as the grassroots. But we're gonna stop and say hello to Danny Noyola. He's also an artist out in San Antonio. So un saludo para Danny Noyola.
Hi,
que
Danny.
nos acompaña.
Thanks for watching.
You guys have your promoter Laura Signs on. So she's saying hello to you guys.
Laura.
Hey guys, my son Robert Forbes is giving you a star. Ronald Bettis is giving you 5 stars in Silver City. And he says he loves that song because I put the video on, Reyes. So yeah, Gil Jimenez es el hijo de Flaco Jimenez. Okay, Gil Jimenez is on.
Yeah.
You guys know who Flaco Jimenez is, right?
Oh, we,
If you
What's up,
don't,
Gilly?
if you don't, you better run.
Oh, we know Flaco. We know Flaco. We knew Flaco when he was alive.
hey, I
He was a
know.
very good person.
I'm
so-
gonna age myself really quick here because I sound like the old like my parents. I know
Uh-huh.
Flacco since the cassette tapes. They had these things. All these kids that were born in 2000. They had these things called a cassette tape, and that's those are my first. Flock. I have some of the Flacco stuff and of course the Texas Tornadoes. That was huge
Right.
here in New Mexico as well.
Yes. Oh, yeah, of course.
Rafa, you have some of your US tape or what?
They're coming back. I want to say,
Hey, I've been talking about this.
Gil Jimenez says, saludos to the great Dina. Thank you, Gil. Y muchachos, échenle ganas, shoot for the stars and follow your dreams desde San Antonio. That is Gil Jimenez, el hijo
Thank you,
de
Gil.
Flaco.
Thank you, Gil. It's un placer. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Danny Noyola, saludos de parte de Alma y Danny Noyola de Corpus Christi. Okay.
Corpus.
Justin,
Saludos, vato.
Justin Gutierrez is on with us. Relative.
Hey!
That Jocelyn is Mija. That's my oldest. That's my little girl.
Okay.
That's my
All
first.
right.
That's my
Okay.
one of my
We
biggest
also-
pride and joys.
We also hello again, Jocelyn. I'm so glad you could join us this afternoon. Don't forget to add me to your page, okay? Manuel Green, hello. I had
Manuel.
8 tracks. He said,
Daniel. You got what now?
he says that he has 8 tracks. El Manuel Green. Do you guys know who Manuel?
I have 8 tracks. I have 8 tracks.
Tell me your 8 tracks.
As a matter of fact, I have a Freddie Fender 8-track back home that my dad used to play in. We used to have a Mercury, an old Ford Mercury. It was a big old boat, and it had an
Right.
8-track. And the only 8-track we had was Freddie Fender. So
Hey, I'm gonna show you how northern New Mexico we are right now. Like, yeah, baby.
Can't get any yellow than that, huh?
No, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm over here at all subs.
Well, I can
Also.
see the blue skies.
he's there. He's at all subs. And any New Mexico musician knows what all subs is.
Well, we don't have all subs here, so I wouldn't have known anyway.
You know
We
what?
don't have all subs
Well, that's how north we are right
here.
now.
That's how
We're at all
we are.
subs.
Yeah, we only have
So,
we
bro,
have Circle K.
All subs is all subs are famous for their bean burritos, and you can get them at 2 a.m. after a gig. But there is an all subs going towards Texas now too. I saw one. I think in
I
Stockton.
heard. I
On the way
heard
to
that. I
Stockton.
heard that. I think Johnny
we-
Martinez was talking about that.
Yeah, there's an all subs there. Yeah, there's on the way
Well,
to San
all I saw
Antonio.
was that,
world famous.
all I saw was that little yellow car. I thought you were talking about the yellow car, like the Zia
Oh.
symbol color, right?
I'm a man. That is very, very normal. That's the Mexico to the bottom. You know?
Well, you know what, guys?
No, we're at all subs.
I'm gonna go ahead and entertain our company here this afternoon, guys. We are going to listen to some. I'm gonna put one song called "Amigo Mío," and that's with La Rosa Records, and that is Rafael and Reyes together. Business partners.
That
and
came
music
off of
partners.
that came off for Leo Don. Leo Don was the original that did that. So,
Leo who?
Leo Don. Leo Don was
Who is he?
yeah.
Tell us who he is.
He's from the I mean we just lost him last year as a matter of fact, but Leo Don was he did mariachi, but he was more of a pop singer in Mexico, real famous singer from the 70s. He did Pídeme la Luna. That was his as well.
Oh, that was his original. Pídeme la
Yeah.
luna.
Pídeme la Luna, and then he did Amigo Mío with Ramon Ayala Jr. And
I
that's where we
see.
came up with that. That's where
How
this came from.
unfortunate.
All right, guys. I want you guys to introduce the song real quick. Either one. Take turns.
Take it away, Reyes. This is Amigo Mío from Toledo
This is
Records.
Reyes. Ándale, you go. You go first, and then I'll go first.
Ya pa' qué.
And then this is Puro Reyes Montoya, compadre. Hi.
The song says that.
Come on.
Rafael singing, right? It's
That's me
Rafael
first.
first.
Start singing, Rafa.
There we go.
Good,
That's
good
me.
voice, Rafael.
Bienvenido. Agradezco que conmigo te has venido a deshogar. Puedo oler en tu tu rostro, la armadura tan inmensa, en tus ojos la apariencia, como que quieres llorar.
I got some toys for my kids, but like a little tiny Lightning McQueen.
Quieres llegar a viejo, el camino que ahora llevas no se transista por ahí.
It's my baby's favorite toy right now. He doesn't want to let it go.
I know you have an appointment with your
Yo
baby
sé
soon, huh?
que son las mujeres
Oh yeah.
el tesoro que
My son has a T-ball game.
Oh, okay. What time?
pero
Six?
no son el motivo
It's around 5:45. Yeah.
para querernos matar.
Guys, ready? Sing this part together, both of you.
This is Reyes right here. We sing together at the end.
Ándale, sing it.
Put an expression in there. Okay, let me hear your expression. Rafael, don't be shy.
There he goes. That's right, coming now.
What's that right there? The electric
Yo
guitar?
sé que andas herido,
Yeah.
hermano.
Yeah, that's the electric guitar.
Pero mejor.
And that's Marcos Cano on the accordion. Also,
Yes, shout out to Marcos.
Veces en el mal, carnal.
shout out, carnal. Yeah.
La redención de Rafael Antonio.
Juanita. Hi, Juanita. Jackie. Hi,
Escucha
Jackie.
bien,
Dorothy.
amigo mío.
So, Jackie.
Hello.
Yo también mucho he sufrido, pero aún llevo conmigo una mi gran ilusión.
I love this
Que
stuff.
mientras en este mundo
I'm with my homies right now.
sepamos amor profundo.
Oh yeah.
This song has, it took on a lot of meaning. Believe me, this song fits me and him perfectly.
Why? Why is that? Tell us.
Well, I'll tell you at the end.
Por juntos cantaremos y por ellas brindaremos, desafiando la tristeza que nos invade a los dos. Ya sé que son las mujeres el tesoro que uno quiere, pero no son el motivo para querernos matar. Es que la quiero y la quiero y la quiero y la quiero y la quiero, pues se ha llevado parte de mi corazón. Es que sin ella me muero, me muero, me muero y me muero, pues se ha marchado sin ninguna explicación.
Those blue skies.
La quiero, la quiero, la quiero, la quiero y la quiero, pues se ha llevado parte de mi corazón. Es que sin ella me muero, me muero, me muero y me muero, pues se ha marchado sin ninguna explicación.
We're gonna send that to all our forefathers of New Mexico.
Yeah, that's New Mexico to the bone right there. That's
Let me send that one out to a good special friend named Darren Cordova.
Yeah,
Oh,
Darren.
Darren.
Cordova.
Yeah,
He's
Darren's another.
amazing. You guys ever perform with Darren?
I performed with Darren quite a bit on various occasions, not like together on stage just yet, but we're gonna make that happen someday.
Okay.
But I'm good friends with all of his kids and his family. I'm very involved with all of them. So shout out to Ryan, Evan, Darren Lee, Danette, all you guys. Hopefully you're watching. Mom.
Danae is she's a very good singer también. Really, Darren's daughter. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's
She sings in the
awesome.
mariachi that they have. They have a mariachi called Calor. Mariachi Calor.
Yes.
And
It's
they
very-
really jam.
So she has her own band, or is she with Grupo Calor? Because I know that's
So-
Darren's band.
Grupo Calor is actually all of his kids, but also Mariachi Calor is all of his kids. So they're all on the mariachi too.
I see.
And
I-
they got a bunch of people in the mariachi too, like Philip. He's from Pueblo, and then he's a trumpet player. And Brittany Gutierrez, shout out Brittany. She's from the Valley, from where I live.
Mhm.
And Crystal, her sister, she also is from the Valley.
Mhm.
And they play violin with the band.
Reyes, can you get away a little bit from your phone, please? Just yeah, put it a little bit further from you.
Like that?
That's probably better. Yeah, just so we can
Oh,
hear you.
okay.
It's important that we get all this in, you know.
Right. You got it.
And I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you were talking
No,
about
you're good.
relatives, how people were.
No, you're good. So a bunch of those people are good friends of mine, and I grew up with Crystal and with Brittany, and Brittany and I were in a band actually in 5th grade together. We had a band, and we
Uh-huh.
played rock music. We were a rock band, and she played guitar, lead guitar, which is cool because like there's not a lot of female lead guitar players from New Mexico, and so she plays really good. So shout out to Brittany.
Reyes, how turning to you, how is your father? How does he direct you in your path with the music? You know, is there a direction that you take that where you take his advice? You know, or is it pretty much you guys are pretty much level, or is there anything he tells you to do different? Does he go see you perform? Tell me a little bit about your father, your relationship with your dad, because I know he's a prominent man.
So my mom and my dad have always been my number one musical influence, obviously. But when it comes to whatever I'm playing, they had me in the band since I was 8 years old. But I've been around their music since I was in the womb. My mom and dad had their band since I was like just developing, you know what I mean? They were first called Second Chance, my mom, Rose, and John Montoya, my mom and dad. And then they broke off from Second Chance to move to where my grandparents, my mom's parents lived, and started the band Deseo in 2004. And so 2004, I started seeing the band develop, you know what I mean, with a bunch of new players and new experiences with like the music they were playing, because they were a variety band, not just a New Mexico band. And then I was introduced to a bunch of metal music and rock music, funk music, pop music, and then eventually me and my sister joined the band. It was circa like 2013 that my sister joined the band officially. I joined in 2010, and I started playing guitar. And my first gig was at the Civic Center in Las Vegas, New Mexico. It was for the senior dance. I remember it all vividly. And at the end of the dance, this lady, she was about 90 years old. Okay. She comes up to me and she said, "Hey, Reyes, you're so awesome. If you were 30 years younger, I would marry you." And I said, "If I was 30 years younger, or you?" I was like, "Oh," she goes, "Oh, yeah, yeah." And I was like, "No offense, but even if you were 50 years younger, I still couldn't marry you." It would be funny. No, but my parents were always supportive of my music. I have a degree in music.
Wait a
I have an
minute.
audio
Up
engineering
there
degree.
at the degree. Turn the volume to your phone down. I don't think we're gonna need it. Just turn it down a little bit.
There we
Thank
go.
you, Hilda. We have Hilda here, saludando Hilda. She's also a part of Sirius Tejano, and she's a promoter. Okay, so
Hello,
she
hello.
goes, the volume of his phone is probably on. See if you can turn it down.
There, is that better?
There you
Yes,
go.
much better. Thank you, Hilda. And I want to say hello to Hilda. She
Good
probably
stuff.
jumped
Just
in
kidding.
right as soon as I said hello to everyone. So, yeah. And you guys, thank you for, please share and let's get this interview out there. Something different from New Mexico. I think you will enjoy very much this interview with Reyes. And let's go back to your degree. Tell us about your music degree. That's important.
So I have an audio engineering degree from New Mexico Islands University, and
I'm alumni there from 2019. That was the year that me and Rafa met up first time in person. And like he explained earlier at my CD release party, that was a very influential year for me in my music because I had a friend of mine tell me that I should try to join the Latin Grammys
Mm-hmm.
as an associate member,
Mm.
just to get the ball rolling. You know what I mean? To just
Mhm.
see if I could get in. And I had enough contacts and I had enough influence and I got an invite. So I was in the Latin Grammys for a little bit. I dropped my membership during COVID just because I couldn't attend the events. I couldn't attend various functions that I needed to be a part of it. You know what I mean? But my main goal since 2019 has been and still is to this day to get New Mexico music and Tejano music to the Grammys, the
Mhm.
Grammys, not the Latin Grammys.
Right.
I think it's so important because right now, as a Latino, we are the number one minority. We're rising through the ranks. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
of all the Sierreño movement and the Norteño movement and all that, we're just the same bird, different feather. I
Right.
think
Right.
that we should all just unite and see that fact. You know what I mean? And so, in order for them to even know we exist, we have to join the clubs. We have to do the things. We have to make sure that
We have to stay
people
positive
understand. You know
and
what I mean?
right, staying positive. And I think that's what we need to do more. I think that the artists from Texas and from New Mexico need to bridge in, and collaborate together because if we just think about this, I mean, we had, it was Mexico, the border, Texas. It was assimilating with Germanics on the border, and then some Tejanos stayed there, and some of them decided to migrate, because they were following their seasonal work, right? So the Hana was, some of them stayed behind, some of them took their music with them. And, they came through New Mexico. We had an influx of the Hanos coming in here because of their jobs. They were out in the fields. So I don't know why there has to be such a, I see the difference, or maybe because we're in New Mexico and they're in Texas, but yet we're all
Yeah,
Hispanic. I see it more like
exactly.
Hispanic. And then what happened was, and there's just a little history behind it, is they went on to California. Los Tejanos se fueron. After work, what did they do? They celebrated with music, with storytelling, even their ups and downs, what they were going through. So this is the way they stayed. They kept a good attitude. Went on to Washington, Seattle, Washington, Yakima, Washington, all the way down to Colorado, back to Florida. I mean, the Tejanos spread the music throughout the Pacific Southwest, and I just wish that there could be more of a fusion, both instruments going on together. Can you imagine how beautiful that would be?
Right.
That's
And
the
we've been
goal.
invited to do multiple things across the United
Have,
States.
have you?
And there's been a lot of people reaching out to us, wanting to collaborate, wanting to work on stuff. In fact, I'm working on something pretty humongous for our record label at this very moment. It's having to do with somebody who's pretty viral. Um, I really don't want to give it away because if I do, it'll just blow the whole thing. But
Uh-huh.
I would rather put it out into the universe to let everybody know that
Mhm.
you can achieve things no matter where you're from. You can talk to people, whether they're famous or not. You can get into circles of people that you don't know. Like we
Mhm.
didn't know each other, you know what I mean, before this interview,
Mhm.
before our phone call the other day. You know
Mm.
what I mean?
So you're gonna keep us in suspense, right? I'm gonna keep
Right.
bugging you and calling you, Reyes. Are you ready
Do
to let
it.
the cat out of the hat?
I'll let you have the. I'll probably let you have the exclusive. for sure.
All right. Yay. Okay. So, what else do you want to add to that? Is there anything else you want to tell the audience as far as that before we go into the next song, which is a really good song as well?
Just that, New Mexico music doesn't have to stay the same just to be relevant, okay? We all have our niches and we all have our individuality, and that's what makes music and art special. It is a very true expression of yourself at the highest form. You know what I mean? And so do what makes you happy. If it makes you happy to play harp in New Mexico music or in Tejano music, or if it makes you happy to play violin, makes you happy to play the steel, lap steel, you know what I mean? All these instruments that are different. It makes you feel good to incorporate emo music, like my good buddy Daniel Fantasma, shout out.
There you go. Daniel
Uh,
Fantasma. I know Daniel. Yeah.
Make it happen. You gotta have faith in yourself and faith in the music that you make and the art that you make.
Reyes,
So-
before I lose my thought, when you're performing, do you ever play Tejano music, and is it different for you if you do play it? Falta poquito. ¿Qué es lo que cambia más?
I play in a mariachi normally full time. That's my job. So we
Uh-huh.
play all types of Latino Hispanic music. We
Uh-huh.
play everything from bolero to mariachi to bachata to cumbia. You know what I mean? Tejano.
Okay,
Conjunto,
so
we
what
play
is-
Emilio Navaira. But when we
what
do
is-
change it up with the band, okay,
Uh-huh.
it is a little different because chords are different. The vibe is different. The people that we're playing for are the same. So the people kind of get like, well, that was different. You know what I mean? But it's
Uh-huh.
fun to shake it up. And I've
Right,
always
yeah.
been the black sheep. So I really
Uh-huh.
have no problem with it.
Yeah, right. Okay, yeah. Again, I'm going to relate it to our history. Think about the Germans cuando se vinieron, when they came through Mexico up to the Texas line,
Right.
they introduced the polka. Can you imagine the Tejanos, or even, los
I'm going to correct
Mexicanos,
your
Tejanos
history
que
just
estaban
a
allí?
little bit. I'm going to correct your history a little bit.
Okay.
The natives actually had the polka.
Yeah,
There were all these rhythms that were still there. And they had
yeah,
all these
they
instruments
shared
that
into,
were.
yes, they did share into their instruments. And I wonder how that worked out, as far as bringing in the accordion. And you are right. I should probably not leave them out, but there was natives here already. And
Well,
I
the
remember
natives jam so hard still to this day. I hate to interrupt you, but there's a guy that I play with now, and he's our good friend. His name is Danny Talache, and he's
Danny.
a native of Nambe Pueblo. And he and his family have been jamming for generations. And he is a very, very talented guitar player, and he has his own set of individualities that bring the
right.
specialness to the music. He even plays rancheras. He plays cumbias. He plays all that stuff, but he prefers the blues, which is cool because now we have a niche of native rock
Right.
bands here in New Mexico.
Yeah, and then when you think about the blues, you think about the jazz, kind of the Tejanos are a little bit more jazzy, I would say.
Yes.
Am I wrong? Okay, I'm right this time.
That's all good.
Let's go back to the Indians a little bit. Do you recall, was it the congas or something that the Indians were playing?
That was Africans, but yes.
No,
The-
maybe not the congas, but they were drumming. Los Mexicanos,
Yeah,
the
there was
Indians were
definitely
drumming.
drums.
Uh-huh.
They brought their drums to the music. Like over here we have in the north a lot of mixing of the cultures, and
Mhm, mhm,
especially like in Española, Santa Fe,
mhm.
Taos. We get together and the natives are just as Chicano as we are. You know what I mean? We're all mestizos, and they acknowledge it. You know what I mean? And we all have fun. And the drums have been the one part that has brought us all together, because whether it's like at their gatherings, everybody's listening and enjoying the art and the specialness of it all.
Mhm.
and in the moment, and then over here the baile, they go and they enjoy the baile, you know what I mean, with
Mhm.
Spanish music.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it's just a bunch of mixing.
Right.
Africans brought the drums like the congas and the bongos to
Mhm.
cumbia music, which when they were slaves, right? They
Right.
brought that rhythm from those days, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
From the slave days and all that.
Yeah. Mhm.
And it started to mix in, especially in like Colombia. Colombia is where AB Quintanilla, if I can go out on this limb, AB Quintanilla brought the cumbia to the United States. He did. And so the cumbia was very popular, don't get me wrong already, but it was only in certain areas. And then when Selena started playing cumbias, that's when it blew up and everybody started playing cumbias. And so
Oh. Mhm.
the African influence always comes from the cumbia, but it's
Mhm.
because they have that beat that starts on the second note of the cumbia rhythm. So it's
Mhm.
da boom, da boom. It's da boom,
Mhm.
literally. That's the
Mhm.
name of the rhythm.
Right. So I want to go back to Rafael because Rafael has his family history. I mean, we were talking one night, and I mean, he was taking me all over the place in New Mexico. Little towns that I don't even know. He took me through the back roads. He took me through the hills and all the way around the
Chido.
forest. Oh, no esté me traen donde quiera. It's a good thing we're not cruising around. You came from a town called Aragon, New Mexico. I don't even know where the
Yes, so
world that is at.
Ottawa is 2 hours north of Silver City, right there along the state
Mhm,
line, right off of Highway 180.
mhm,
Which actually is why Silver City. I have a lot of family in the city. I spent most of my weekends. My grandfather was still alive. He was there in Fort Baird, so we used to go. I mean, so all my dad's brothers and sisters. A lot of them are all Forest Service fighters. They're all
mhm,
retired. And they
mhm,
so we got a long
mhm,
history of wilderness family. They're come from
mhm,
logging and ranching is really what defines my bloodline. My dad
mhm,
was a thinning contractor. Excuse me, um, my dad's family real big from a really big ranching family, and they're originally from the north, and they came down
They're from
towards a
way
little
up
bit
there.
way up there, and they came down when my great grandfather's first wife died. He moved down to what's known as Datil, right? That's kind of towards the edge of Ketchum County, and he brought it. He
What is
built
how do you pronounce that?
Datil. They call it Datil. They call it
Oh,
Datil.
daddle. I know it by
Yeah,
daddle. Yes. Uh-huh.
yeah. So the
Okay.
Dietis Ranch was probably one of the largest ranches at one time before the Depression, and but my family, both of my mom and my dad's side, we got almost 25 generations of New Mexico being from New Mexico, the north, and then came
So
down to the south. But Aragon,
we're talking about
it
your
used to
family.
be.
How were you guys connected as far as the music? Tell us a little bit about your upbringing with the music, Rafael.
Well, the music was always around me, like I said, and I grew up with I feel like I was born 10 years too late because the music I grew up with was what my dad would have, his
Mhm,
records and like I said, the Flaco Jimenez records, the Texas Tornadoes, the CCR, AC/DC, and then of course Al Hurricane,
mhm,
Roberto Madragon, Roberto Griego,
mhm.
all these
Yeah,
different artists from different
Roberto.
areas,
Uh-huh.
different music. Of course, Linda Ronstadt, mariachi stuff, and Little
Uh-huh.
Joe,
Mhm.
and so
So you
that
were
was always.
exposed to all that.
Oh yeah, music was
Did you
always a.
like New Mexico? Did you like New Mexico music better? Sorry to interrupt you.
No,
Um,
no.
New Mexico music, or did you favor that over Tejano? Because you mentioned some Tejanos and then you mentioned New Mexico. So
Growing up, not really, because I didn't really didn't know the difference. It was always just played, so I loved it all.
really, oh,
There really
okay,
wasn't like a preference or and
yeah.
and like I said, and it was, and then a lot of my family, especially like on my mother's side of the family, the Lopezes were musicians and they were bacas, and then my father, my father and my mother had a lot of uncles and aunts. They're not related, but because of marriages, they shared
Mhm.
some similar aunts and uncles. And on my dad's
Mhm.
side, my grandmother, her maiden last name was Padilla, and all of her and
Mhm.
her sisters were all singers. And
Mhm.
a lot of those sisters, four of those sisters, married five brothers that were brothers to my mother's grandfather.
Mhm.
And then
Mm.
he was a Baca, and he married into the Lopez family. And the Lopez's, my family on the Lopez side, were all musicians as well. So
Mm.
since the time I was a year old, every party we had, there was the tios with the guitarras, the accordion. Some of
Mhm.
my great uncles had played violin, and so it was just kind of a common thing. You never had and then my father played guitar as well, so it was just kind of expected, we were always around
Right.
it,
Yeah.
and
Right.
so I've always loved
Oh.
music. And then luckily we had a music program. Well, during my tenure, I went to um, the town is called Reserve because
Mhm.
that's where the school's at. It's about 19 miles away
Beautiful.
from
Reserve
Montego.
is beautiful.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah.
Yes.
Everybody in Reserve. A shout out to everybody in Reserve. I went to school there from 1988 in Head Start all the way to
Oh,
my senior year. So I'm a Mountaineer alumni all the way, purple and gold.
that's like that's like Springville, New Mexico. Springerville, I believe it is a timber
No,
town, Timberwood
yeah.
town.
Well, Springerville's on the Arizona side though. That's
Yeah.
Arizona.
Okay.
Yeah,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
we're in the
Okay.
same,
Oh,
kind of the
is it?
same. Yeah, because there's
Yeah.
Alpine and then
Yeah.
Springerville. If you
Right.
look at it, Alpine, and you see where I'm at is where the Gila and the Apache National Forest meet, and then the
Mhm.
Apache National Forest goes on into Alpine and Springer, that area. So those mountain ranges are all the same mountain ranges. It just depends what side of the
Mhm.
sign you're on. But yeah,
So,
Reserve.
so did the people there already know also about New Mexico music, and did they all play Hispanic? Was it a populace of Hispanic people, or what is it?
Oh
You
yeah,
got the
well in
mestizos,
the
the Indians,
yeah,
and
you got a lot of people from the north there that migrated that way, especially for the Reserve and that the Gila district. That has
Mhm.
one of the biggest what's the word? There's a lot of lumber in those forests. They
Yes,
got
right.
the reserves
So
there.
they
That's
have
why they
that.
called it. That's why they call it reserve, because it was one of the largest reserves in the country.
Right,
So
right.
the lumber, the sawmills, and the logging really brought a lot of people down for work. And then the
Mhm.
ranching, and my
Mhm.
my great my great grandfather brought cattle, domestic
Mhm.
cattle. They used to do sheep
Mhm.
until he came. My great grandfather brought domestic cattle. So ranching and
Mhm.
logging is like almost those are the at one time were the biggest things going on there.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that you had all these families, even the gringos, man, they know a lot of those Spanish songs as good as we do. The yeah,
Yeah,
a lot of the gringos, they
yeah.
eat the same food we do, and
Right.
they're listening to the Texas tornadoes, or they're listening to El Hurricane. It's just kind of the culture itself. New Mexico's a really
Yes.
unique that way, where the culture just is,
Yes. Yes. We are very unique, I think. Yeah, Hispanic unique.
yeah.
Anyway, I have I know that you are a sound guy. Tell us about your
Yeah.
expertise in sound.
So I decided to do sound, and actually, this is where I'm gonna kind of. I went to. I have an I have a degree in audio engineering. I graduated from the Conservatory of Recording Arts and Sciences. It's a prestigious sound engineering school in Phoenix.
Hmm.
And
Mhm.
I interned in Tucson, and I never thought to really want to record. I've been a disc jockey since I was 16. I did high school band. I was a music major in
Mhm.
college, and doing I learned a little bit of sound, obviously, by running the DJ stuff and all that stuff. But to record, I never thought, why do I want to record?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
this gentleman I met up with at a gig, actually, I was a house DJ at a gig, and we lost him a year and a half ago. Se llama Sergio Puig, and
Mhm.
he was from Tucson, and he wrote up a lot of music. He had a lot of music, and he was recording demos and stuff. And And
Mhm.
I feel bad because just to shut him up, I finally told him, let's see if we can make something happen. And he wanted to record, and we started, and we got into
Mhm.
that, and then through some projects with somehow that little thing started, and then that's where me and that's where I started working a little bit more closely with Sabor Latino. That's already Ogas
Mhm.
and the Ogas family, and we started doing, at the time we weren't really trying to do nothing. We just wanted to see if we could record, because
Mhm.
he had just done his own album, but he wanted to do something new, and we had just lost Raul after that too. So we're
Right.
trying to do a tribute
With
to
Sabor
him, and
Latino.
so all these
Yeah.
little projects got me started, and then I started. We were on a project that it never happened, and like I said, I don't want to go into too much of the details, but it was with Rocky Hernandez, Little Joe's brother,
That's Little Joe's brother. Yes.
and when the contact between him and Sergio Puig, that's where I met the man that really told me to go to audio school, and he's been a pivotal person in my career and has exposed me to a lot of the more iconic musicians on that. And he's, matter of fact, he's on his way back from San Antonio right now. Alberto Gallego. He just did a Breed reunion with Jay
Right.
Perez.
Did
and
you
Roger
see him?
Velasquez.
Did you see him on Facebook?
I was watching it live and making sure I posted it to all our pages and everything. That was
Yeah. As a matter of
really,
fact,
really happy.
go ahead.
This is a really happy moment, There's been, and like I said, I'm sure eventually when you interview him, he'll give you more of his story of that history, But he was the
Right.
one, because when the project with Rocky Hernandez did not end well. I lost, money was lost, things
Mhm.
shouldn't have, it is what it is. But Albert told me, he took me and said, hey man, these things happen, projects don't always go through, but you seem to
Mhm.
like this recording stuff. There's a school in Phoenix. You really ought to check it out. And I went
Mhm.
online, I checked out, and you have to be accepted there. And I got accepted, and I graduated from my degree in audio engineering. So I've always,
Congratulations. Rafael stopped here at my house one day and I said, Rafael, I need some help with my computer. And boy, he just check 1, 2, 3, and we were done. and then I guess I needed a little screw or something, and he just went to the car and he had he's got a hardware supply in his trunk. Does that sound like him, Reyes?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, no, I don't go nowhere
He's got a whole backpack full of cables.
I'm like a Radio Shack.
I'm gonna cut into the song because I know you have to go soon, Reyes. This is Reyes right here, and you're performing this song in northern New Mexico. Where at, Reyes?
Yeah. So that song, Dejando el Día Pasar, is a very original song. It's written by me and my mom and by my buddy. His name is Macario Sanchez. He's from Moras. My eye got a little bit teary-eyed.
We're going to get it on. Hi, Joe Leal. We want to say hello to Joe. He's another artist from Chicago. He's a Chicano to the bone. Joe Leal. We also have
Joe Leal.
La Prima Bertha Peru, you probably know her, Rafael. The Perus, the Rodriguez, the Padillas from North Hurley.
The only Padilla I know, I'm gonna mention in a little bit after you do the song. I'll mention the Padilla I know.
All right, I can't even imagine who that Padilla you're talking about. Okay, here we go with this one. Is this Reyes Montoya, Dejando el Día Pasar?
No hay flores ni pinos, yo veo
I just
Oh,
turned the volume back on for you guys. Great song. Congratulations to you, Reyes. That
Thank
is,
you. Appreciate it.
if you guys have a chance to go to YouTube, I didn't download the video, unfortunately, but you guys can go to YouTube, ladies and gentlemen, and you can hear the same song and you can watch Reyes play the guitar. I also dropped a short video on my profile, and I recorded some of it in there, so you can see him playing the guitar. And also también I have one of Rafael, part of it, Amigo Mio. No, is it Amigo? Yes, Amigo Mio, who's
Yeah,
also on there. But we're going to go back to Rafael Antonio, where he's going to tell us a little bit about El Rebelde, because he also recorded El Rebelde.
So El Rebelde, that's gonna be I wanted to do and it's been recorded by a lot of artists, so I'm not just saying it was just him, but my favorite version was El Hurricane, and I wanted to do a song, one of El Hurricane's, one of the songs that he usually does on his set, and that was El Rebelde. So that's where that came
That was
from.
my favorite too, bro.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Okay, Reyes, like he has his own version too, different version, both. I think but. The main producer on this was he's one of the accordion legends out of Albuquerque, and Mito Romero. He's with Triple M Records. He does a lot of the arranging for me, but Reyes has his little touch on this as well. So when I get usually when I get those two songs together, man, it makes really beautiful music. So Reyes has a lot to do with this, and then the arrangement was and that's what we're doing now, is all the remixes and stuff like that.
Well, that's
so
really nice that you acknowledged Reyes in these little pieces of arrangement. Congratulations.
Anything that I do,
I appreciate
Reyes, everything that comes out of Tularosa Records, whether he's the mix engineer, or whether he's throwing another instrument, or helping me, Believe Prince are all over all of this. He's the man. So.
I need to wash my hands, bro. I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
Roxy, we're going to say hello to Roxanne Reese. Thank you for joining us here.
Roxanne, estás?
Saludando Reyes and Rafael. She's from- Anyway, guys, I want you to sing one. Can you sing part of a song together? I know you did, Amigo Mio. That's when you guys have sung together. Can you both kind of come together and do an acapella for us?
What do you do to this?
I don't know. I can't even sing, bro, because I've been dealing with a vocal injury for 2 years.
You were just telling me about that. Well, then you know what? We're gonna point the finger.
I wish. Maybe at a later date. We'll reschedule for that one.
Okay. I know that
maybe someday soon we could do a live stream, like a live show, where we actually sing on your show. That would be great.
Oh, that would be amazing. I would love that. Maybe you guys need to come to my house, and then we can all.
Yeah, now you're talking.
And I can cook for you guys. Well, I'll make you guys some enchiladas, some New Mexico enchiladas.
We'll do it tomorrow.
He's like, I'm being there right now.
We're not too far away from each other.
So that sounds good to me. We'll plan it.
Rafael, what about singing parte of El Rebelde for us?
¿Para qué voy a negarlo? Tú eres dueña de mi amor. Pero yo soy un rebelde, y pero mi dolor.
Ooh, I love
Now
that
sing
song.
it in English.
I love that song.
I am just a rebel.
Game?
I am just a rebel. And I like women to hurt me, como dice El Hurricane.
Yeah. Hurt me, baby.
So, how many siblings do you have, Reyes?
I only have my sister, Angelica, and she's 3 years younger than me. And she has a phenomenal voice.
And Rafael?
I'm the oldest of three, so my sister's Alicia. She's the middle one. And then my youngest brother is Miguel.
So we're going to be doing a lot. You guys are going to be doing a lot together, collaborating a lot what are your plans for the future? What are we looking at in like what is your next song going to be like? Will it be a cumbia?
We we
Yeah,
do
no.
have a cumbia coming up. There is a cumbia coming up. It's a recognizable cumbia, but the way we did is like nobody else. But we do have a few. What we've been working on as far as me and Reyes. I had because my first original album got released back in 2016, but it wasn't the radio really didn't take to it. You know, I at the time we did what we could with the budget that we had, but no, now with Reyes, like I said, you know, between him and what Miguelito Romero have done, I've pretty much put them both in the same room, pretty much, and we're these are all remixes of the original album. We have about what four more songs, Reyes, before we're done.
Yeah.
So the idea is to get this remix done, and with the help of people like KDNA, you and Laura Sainz, who's been phenomenal since the beginning. I mean, she's pretty much we've been real fortunate to all the DJs too that she's reached out for us. We've made top 20 countdowns, and it does help us. So we do want to take this live. Hopefully by the summertime, I want to be doing something live. We're trying to put the group together and get the musicians together, and
well, bring them to my house. You guys aren't too far away. Bring a big bus, and I have a big parking space in the front and a big house.
We'll pull. Don't tell me that. We'll pull up.
Well, I guess you know that it brings me joy to know that you guys aren't so far away. I love my Tejanos, but they're like a million miles away. I'm like, God, you guys are so far away. I'm so far away.
Well, Tucson's not too far. It's only what, 3 hours, or is it?
But that's the danger, is you guys are just a hop, skip, and a jump. If I say something, you guys can come knocking at my door in 3-4 hours.
I've been on to do it. Can ask Reyes. I've been on to do that. 1 minute I'm in Tucson, and then the next morning I'm knocking on somebody's door in Albuquerque.
I'm like, you're in Santa Cruz.
Remember that one time when you went and parked under his awning? Shout out to Miguelito. He's got a big old awning in front of his garage, in front of his recording studio. He parks his Crown Vics under it.
Hey, I want you guys, quiero que saluden a toda la gente por allá de North Hurley and Hurley. That's Kiana Huerta's little town, and also
yes, Hurley is our
Hurley.
Yes, Hurley's a really special place. The talent, you would not believe what talent comes out of that little town, but let me tell you.
Yeah, you got Kiana, and then you have Angelica, Heli. Yeah.
Heli,
we're honored, and they're only like about 40 miles north from here.
Oh yeah. Both of those girls can sing.
Can't they? Yeah. Anyways, I want you guys to tell me, we're going to end it with, where can we find your music? Where can the audience find your music, your record company, with the name of it, and your profiles on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok?
So you can find all of Tula Rosa Records stuff under Tula Rosa Records. That's all of our acts. All of our pages are called that. All of our YouTube channels are called that. And if you look it up on YouTube, you'll find a lot of our releases by Johnny. What's his last name? Johnny. What's his name? Johnacanda, bro. What is it called?
Juan Lopez. Juan Lopez.
Artie Ogas and Sabor Latino. De Rafael Antonio, Angelica Heli Padilla. And then you can find all of Reyes Montoya's stuff under my name, Reyes Montoya. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, under DJ Lil Ray, and on Facebook as well. And I have my own page for stuff that comes out of my own house under my studio name, not my label name, but it's under Reyes Records. So you can look that up.
On Facebook? Facebook, you have Reyes Records.
Yes.
Reyes. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So, how about you, Rafael?
And Rafael Antonio, under Rafael Antonio.
Yeah, everything's under. Rafael. No, Rafael. I should have. It would have been easier, but no. Rafael Antonio La Redención is that's the trademark that we named the band. When we actually have a band, you'll find us there. You'll see Tula Rosa Records also has its own page. and you know, of course, Rafael Gutierrez is where you'll find just me, which I share everything. Just gets shared to everything, so it's almost the same stuff, just rotating, you know. But I think Amigo Mio, you can actually, Amigo Mio is the only one that's actually out for retail right now. I think you can find that at Apple Music or Spotify. Amigo
Now,
Mio
you
is out there.
You have one song that you were gonna send me, but you said you haven't downloaded. What song was that?
It's no, that's gonna be
Que
Que
Bonito?
Bonito. Yeah, that one's not
And
quite
when
ready
that
yet.
song is released, we'll get it right to you for the
It's
exclusive release.
it's almost done. We're almost there, and then we also have a
Oh, did I
before.
say something I wasn't supposed to say?
No.
Oh
It
no,
was
you're good.
no. It's but there is.
Okay.
I do want to mention before I forget. I'm hoping. I don't know if you got it or not. I put together a little single release. It's not through my label. This was done with Sabor Latino right before I met up with Artie. But it's I put it together to help him out because I really wanna express my. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us. But I'm hoping we can. There's one song that Raul Ogas did. Raul Ogas played when I started doing this professionally, he was one of the first mentors that I had, and hopefully we can get that out soon. I don't know if you got the download or not, but he did one single release, which was actually he sang it for your sister. That's the history there. So
Yes, I do have it, but is it ready to be downloaded? Is that one ready
no,
to go?
yeah, I sent you the picture and the MP3. Yeah,
Okay.
really, and like I said, that just as a favor to the Ogas family and my little tribute to Raul. May he rest in peace. But Raul is a real, like I said, a lot of people that have played important roles in my life, and I do what I can to try to make sure that they're immortalized somehow.
You guys can hear Sabor Latino too out of Safford, Arizona, just about an hour, 2 hours away from here, going west, closer to Tucson. They have some pretty good music too. And of course, you can hear New Mexico music on KDNA. And we want to saludar. We have a Mary Canava. Do you guys know Mary Canava? She's on with us today. So thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
Thank you
Come
for
on in
joining
with
us.
And remember, you guys can go back and listen to this. It's restreamed. So if you missed part of the interview, you can go back. It'll be on and forever and ever on my Facebook. And also you'll probably find it on Rafael's and Andreas as well. So we're gonna close up now, guys, but I wanna play this. Is there anything we missed or something you guys want to talk about before we end this interview?
Just a quick like I said, a shout out to the artists that have recorded with Dolorosa Real, the famous Heli. The only reason we dubbed her with an S instead of a G because we also have the other Heli that's Reyes' sister. But look, I'm really excited that her song is getting out there. She really blew it away, and she showed up. A lot of the big bigs in mariachi out of Tucson. We got together and did that project. Probably one of my better productions that I've produced. Shout out to Heli, Juan Lopez, Nate, Jacob, and Brian, and of course Artie. The Sabor Latino. All of our artists, and all the people that I know, our families, our friends. It's a dream that's still going on. We're still.
And Frankie. And my mom and dad.
There's Amadeo. Yeah. The boys, our kids. We're trying to leave something for. He has 2, I have 3. We want to leave them something, eventually, so they have something to remember for us.
Right. Of course. Well, I'm anticipating another interview hopefully soon to see where you guys are at, maybe in a couple of months, 3 months, and see. I hope your voice gets better. Reyes, I know you have troubles with your vocal cords right now, so I'll be praying for you. And Rafael, thank you so much for being a friend, for supporting KDNA, for being here for me.
We thank you a lot too.
Yes, I totally appreciate you guys. So I hope you're having tacos, New Mexico tacos for dinner, because it is Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday.
Yeah.
So before I close, and for those that just came in, well, let's just say hello one more time to the ones that are here. We want to say hello once again. Thank you to Juanita Candelaria for joining us, Frank, Alex, Hilda Peña, Danny Noyola, Joe Leal, Dorothy Martinez, Laura Sainz, your promoter. Roxanne Reese, let's see, Bertha Peru, and Mary Canava. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for joining us. You can share, guys,
Yes, thank
this
you, guys.
interview
Thank
will
you.
stay
Hey, you
on
guys
my
wanna
profile so you get to see it all. So I'm going to play this song once again, Amigo Mio, because you guys are both on it.
Yeah.
As we close the show, and I'll just,
right.
we'll just listen to it, and then I'll disconnect you guys, okay?
Okay.
All righty. Thank
So
you for
I'm
having
gonna-
on.
Alrighty.
You're welcome, Reyes. I'll
Thank
talk
you.
to you
Thank you.
guys soon.
This was
Thank you
huge.
so much
Hopefully,
for everything.
hopefully we did it justice. You know, I've never done an interview. So,
Here we go. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody. Have a nice evening. We'll see you on Thursday I have Imari on Thursday. She's out of McAllen, Texas, a little gal, 12 years old. So stay tuned. See you guys.
We'll be tuning in.
That's my birthday. Really? Wow.
Hola, ¿qué tal, amigo mío? Nuevamente bienvenido. Agradezco que conmigo te has venido a deshogar. Puedo leer en tu rostro la armadura tan inmensa, en tus ojos la apariencia, como que quieres llorar. Escucha bien mi consejo, si quieres llegar a viejo, el camino que ahora llevas no se transista por ahí. Yo sé que son las mujeres el tesoro que uno quiere, pero no son el motivo para querernos matar.
Es que la quiero y la quiero y la quiero y la quiero y la quiero, pues se ha llevado parte de mi corazón. Es que me muero, me muero, me muero, me muero y me muero, pues se ha marchado sin ninguna explicación.
Mira, Reyes, yo sé que andas herido, hermano. No te hagas daño, pero mejor alivia tu dolor con otra. Hay muchas veces en el mal, carnal.
Y puro Reyes Montoya, compadre.
Y con la redención de Rafael Antonio. Escucha bien, amigo mío. Yo también mucho he sufrido, pero aún llevo conmigo una mi gran ilusión. Que mientras en este mundo sepamos amor profundo, porque vivan las mujeres, daremos gracias a Dios.
Mejor juntos cantaremos y por ellas brindaremos, desafiando la tristeza que nos invade a los dos. Ya sé que son las mujeres el tesoro que uno quiere, pero no son el motivo para querernos matar. Es que la quiero y la quiero y la quiero y la quiero y la quiero, pues se ha llevado parte de mi corazón. Es que sin ella me muero, me muero, me muero y me muero, pues se ha marchado sin ninguna explicación.
Oh yeah.
Good night, guys. Thank you.
Bye guys. Bye.
See you soon.
Yeah, no.